Alexa's queen of filming multiple videos in one sitting. I finally got it right that time. That took me like 7 takes. What is this? Okay, so as you can see, I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing several weeks ago in a different video. This is my Titan's Curse review. Short version, I love it. Long version, watch the rest of the video. So Titan's Curse is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. It follows Percy and some other characters as they go on a quest again, and there will be spoilers starting like now, I guess. I'm gonna first talk about the plot, and then I'm gonna talk about some character stuff, and then that's the whole video, so then I'll go. It's so funny. So this book starts with, I was almost gonna say video, this book starts with Percy, Annabeth, and Talia, who was introduced at the end of the last book, going to a boarding school because Grover has found some powerful demigods and they're gonna bring them to Camp Half-Blood. Oh no, everything goes wrong. Annabeth gets like captured and they lose her, like not in a death way, in a like we don't know where Annabeth is way. And they meet Artemis and her hunters, who are all young girls who have taken oaths. They've taken oaths to not be romantically in love, and in return they get to be immortal, which is a pretty sweet deal. The new demigods that we meet are these 2 kids called Bianca D'Angelo and her younger brother Nico D'Angelo. Nico is 10 and Bianca is 12. Turns out Artemis is gonna go look for Annabeth and also this like monster that is threatening to destroy Olympus that they don't know what the monster is yet. Everyone, including the hunters, goes back to Camp Half-Blood. They play capture the flag. They go on a quest because it turns out that the lieutenant, Artemis's lieutenant, who is like the leader of the hunters of Artemis, Zoe, has a dream in which Artemis is like in trouble, so they decide to have a quest. They get or they don't decide to have a quest, but like the Oracle like walks down from the attic in the big house and like issues a prophecy, which is like super creepy and weird because she's never left the big house before because she's dead. So there's a quest. The prophecy calls for 5 people to go on the quest and says that campers and hunters will work together. They choose, when they're choosing who's going to go on the quest, they don't choose Percy, and Percy is like very upset about it, understandably, because everyone in these books just never tells Percy anything. He just doesn't know anything at all. Like, I swear to God, this boy is completely left out of the loop constantly. They go on the quest. I meant to say, even though Percy isn't originally chosen to go on the quest, one of the people who's a hunter, can't go on the quest because she gets pranked by the Stoll brothers and is like sick. And Percy doesn't like go with them originally, but he like follows them on his Pegasus, and then he just like kind of becomes a part of the quest like later in the book. They get into shenanigans. Bianca at this point has joined the Hunters of Artemis, and she goes on the quest as a hunter of Artemis, and the end of the thing is when they go to the place where Atlas like holds up the sky and there's like this battle and stuff. Bianca dies and Zoe dies, and then that's the whole book. That was a terrible explanation, but here's what I think about the plot. Annabeth not being in most of the book is not something that I personally support because I love Annabeth and I want to see more of her. However, I do think that it works just because Annabeth is a character that we already know and we've seen 2 books of her, so the whole, like, the fact that she's not you know, one of the main like people who are on the quest in this book, and you don't really get to see that much of her, I don't think is as much of a problem, just because you already know her as a character, so you're already attached, even though like personally I think that more Annabeth is always better. Why am I so low in the frame? Why do I keep doing this? I'm not a professional, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say that bit where like Annabeth is like holding up the sky and like Percy holds up the sky and they have like the little gray streak in the hair because they both held up the sky. Poetry, art, beautiful, love it, perfect.
Now I'm gonna talk about the characters. The first person I want to talk about obviously is Percy. He's the main character. He always gets stuck with like not knowing anything about what is happening, and that is just, it's painful. Like, please someone just tell him what's going on. People keep doing things and they're not telling him, and I'm like, please just tell him, he's nice. So there's that. I think it's so adorable the way he's like really worried about Annabeth like the whole time. Like, that's so sweet. It's just so sweet. His encounter with Aphrodite in the car where she's like, oh, like you're doing this for Annabeth. I'm just like, oh, like he has a crush. That's so cute. Percy like blaming himself for Bianca's death, like he does that for a bit. No, like don't do that. I mean, he's 14, so I don't really expect the best logical conclusions out of him, especially for such like a tragic situation, but like don't do that. Also, the whole like Hercules riptide thing, the bit where he like throws the Nemean lion, is that how you say it? Whatever. He like throws the cloak into the water, and he's like, you know, offering it to like his dad, and I'm just like, this boy, like he is such a badass. Like he's like, I'm not Hercules, I'm not gonna win because of a lion's fur cloak, and I'm just like, dude, I respect you. Like, I know you are only 14 years old, but I would die for you. Like, you have my soul. I'm like, it's so cathartic. Yeah, okay, I just love it. There's nothing else I can say about it. I just love him. He's very small, and he is very sweet, and he is very powerful. And all of those things are amazing, and I love him so much. I love him so much. Grover he's such an angel. Like, the bit he gets where they get like the blessing from the wild and like the boar and stuff, he is such a sweetie. Like, he's like, I'm gonna drink more coffee because I'm drinking coffee when the blessing from the wild came, and I'm just like, Grover, you are a disaster. I love you so much. I support you. I just want you to be happy. I have nothing bad to say about him. He wants to find Pan. What a guy. He in the end, where like, not in the end, but like near the end, when the Ophiutorus is like Bessie is like, they need to get Bessie out of danger, and Grover's like, I'll go with him, and Grover is like, doesn't like, you know, going in water and stuff, and I'm just like, you're such a good person. I love that. I love that. Like, I love that, and I love that so much. I love that for him. Talia, I think, is such a 15-year-old. I don't mean this in a bad way. I've been 15 before, obviously. So Talia is very full of anger, which I support. Talia likes Green Day, which I also support. And Talia is very terrifying, which I also support. I had such a big crush on her when I was little. I mean, honestly, I still have a crush on her. Here's my thing about Talia. I love her. I do think the whole like Talia and Percy animosity is kind of a lot, but it does get resolved. I just think it goes on for like a bit longer than it strictly needs to. I don't really think it adds that much to the actual story. I think it should have been resolved a lot before it actually was, because like they're actually friends. Why are they fighting so much? I mean, I know friends fight, but like they're like trying to skewer each other. Like, relax, okay, calm down. Enough monsters want to skewer you. You don't have to do it yourself. Talia joining the Hunters, I have mixed feelings about this, mostly because I don't see it like character-wise. I don't really like see it for her. I don't really think that's like a place that her character wanted to go or needed to go or should go. I see it like because of like plot reasons why that happened, but like I don't really see the point in Talia being like a hunter of Artemis. Like if there was no prophecy, there would be no reason. And for that reason, I think it was a stupid decision. But it's okay because it's over now. I mean, it's not over now, I guess. But I guess it's okay because I have to be okay with it, because I'm gonna read the next books in this series and she continues to be a hunter in those. Zoe, here's what I think about Zoe. I think that she is like several thousand years old. I kind of feel like she should have dealt with some of her issues by now. Maybe like go to therapy. You've been around for a while. I'm sure Artemis wouldn't mind. Yes, Hercules was a terrible person, but she kind of takes all of her issues with Hercules and like pins them on all boys forever, which I get it, but like you are like, she's old. She's like super old. She looks like a child, but she's like actually really old. So I feel like by now she should have at least, you know, gotten to the point where she's like, all boys are not monsters. I don't think it should take like Percy for her to see that. I know Percy's an angel, but like I don't think it should be until like she meets Percy Jackson to be like, hey, maybe there is like a good person who is also a boy in the world. I don't know. I feel like at points her like disdain, and also all the hunters at points their like disdain for boys, I was like, haha, but also like just relax, calm down. Like, Zoe, I know you like didn't get credit and stuff, but you're the one who chose to betray your family, so it's not completely on Hercules. I don't know why I'm taking Hercules' side. My point is that Zoe needs to chill. Apart from that, I love her so much. I just think she needs to chill. Like, she just needs to relax. She just needs to calm down a little bit. Maybe like go to the spa that Cersei has and like get like a facial or something. Just relax. I just think she should relax a bit more. Apart from that, I think she is great. I think her story is super tragic. I think she's very brave, obviously. Most of the characters in this book are, which makes me cry a lot. And that's what I think about Zoe. Bianca, I think Bianca didn't have enough like time actually like interacting with the characters. I know she's there for like, I think about half the book, and that's just like when she's alive is like for half the book. She doesn't like constantly interact with Percy, who's, you know, the point of view character. So she doesn't interact with him. We don't get to see her that much, and I think it's really important that we got to see more of her personality, because like Nico's whole motivation for being an emo in the next couple of books is that he blames Percy for Bianca's death, which I'll get to that in a second. but I think the fact that Bianca is like such a big motivator means like we should have seen more of her personality. We really don't see that much of her. Like there isn't that much of Bianca. There's just like about half of this book, and then there's like one scene in the next book, and that's like all we see of Bianca. I think there should have been more of her, yeah, and I think that would have been better. What we do get to see of her, I think she's sweet, but like, again, there really isn't that much of her, so there isn't that much for me to base my judgment on. I also think, to Nico now, I think that he is very small and he is very tiny, and I love him so much and I want to protect him. The like scenes in which Nico is like introduced and like the couple of scenes after that are hilarious. Like just the fact that Nico is like this hyperactive like 10-year-old who is super into this game about Greek gods, and everyone's like, what the actual fuck is this child talking about? Hilarious, like peak comedy. Love that. The scene where like he sees Mr. D and he's like, you're the wine dude, you had like 3,000 attack power or something, and Mr. D is like, what the fuck? Hilarious, like hilarious. That's still hilarious. I think that Nico blaming Percy for like not saving Bianca is really irrational, because it is really irrational, but also he's 10, so I don't like blame him for being irrational. I just think it is really irrational. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, that boy, he just needs help. He just needs someone to give him a hug and be like, relax. I think everyone in this book would do better if they just chilled a little bit. That's what I think. Apart from Apollo, maybe he seems like a bit too chill. Like, maybe you should take some of this seriously. So that's Nico. He's very cute, and he needs to have some lessons in like making rational decisions, because that was not a rational decision. But it's okay, because I love him, and he's gonna be okay. I also want to talk about Annabeth. I think Annabeth is like, I love her. She needs help like everyone else in this book. I think that her whole like thing of like with Luke, like she really just wants to help him. Percy has changed his mind about Luke. He's also not known him as long, so like even though Luke's betrayal really hurt him, like Annabeth has known Luke for like so much longer, and the fact that he is like, you know, evil and killing people now, clearly very, very hurtful. She just wants to help him because she's a good person, unlike Luke, and yeah, I feel bad for her. I just want her to be happy, and this book doesn't want her to be happy, so that's the conflict of interest. I also want to talk about Dionysus. I think this is like the first time in the books I was like, oh, he's like actually a god, because before this I was always like, not like on this reading obviously, before this I was always like, he is a god, but like in this book he actually uses his powers, which is nice. I think Dionysus, like in the myths, is, you know, like he just has a good time. He, you know, goes around making people go insane. What a guy. So basically Dionysus should do god power things more often instead of being a whiny while he's babysitting campers. I think that would do him a lot of good. It would certainly be a lot more entertaining for me, and yeah, I think that. I think it would have been nice to see like more of him using his powers, but also like the kind of like one and done deal where like Percy prays and then he does the whole thing and Percy's like, what the f? solid. The part at the end where they're having like the party on Olympus to like honor the heroes, and Athena is like talking to Percy and she's like, I don't approve of your friendship with my daughter. I never liked that bit in the books. I still don't like it. I feel like it just comes off as super weird. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just want good things for Annabeth, and I don't think Athena also wants the same good things for Annabeth that I do. She seems a lot more interested in like controlling her daughter's friendships than she does in actually wanting her daughter to be, you know, happy, which is a yikes. And I don't like that. There's like a little bit with Tyson. There's like a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end, and I love Tyson. He's very cute. There isn't like a lot of him in this book. There's no like significant character stuff that happens, but he's there for a bit and I love him, so that's great. Same with Sally. There's not a lot of her, but she's like in a relationship basically with this guy Paul, who's like in her writing classes or something, and that's really cute. I just want Sally to be happy. I think it's very sweet that Percy also just wants Sally to be happy. Like he's like, she's like trying to explain and he's like, Mom, are you happy? And I'm like, this child just loves his mom. Like he just loves his mom. He just loves his mom, which is very sweet. Sally Jackson has literally never done anything wrong in her entire life, and I will fight you on that. She's just perfect. Like she's perfect. She's perfect. I don't know what else to say. That's all I have to say about this book. So I'm gonna go now because I have been recording for a while, and I really need to stop doing this recording like several videos at once thing, because by the time I get to the end of recording the videos I like forget what I've been talking about, and I just make it harder for me to edit. This thing is way too long. Like there were so many bits where I didn't even know what I was saying, and I'm gonna have to cut them all out, and I don't want to think about that right now, but it's fine because this video isn't gonna be edited for a long time. So that's nice. I'm gonna go now. Thank you all for coming to my channel. If you like that video, please subscribe and like and comment, and bye.